TitleMatchNetwork.com.
You got Austin Aries, X Division champion. All right. So does that mean that he can't?
Puts a label on him.
He can't go for the World Heavyweight Championship? Well, okay, why not? So if there's a weight limit, make it a weight limit. But then there's no weight limit because there's no limits. Then if it's a height limit, is it a age limit? Is it, I mean, there's no explanation as to what the hell the thing is. And then they have matches where they have the X in the middle of the ring with a wooden X in the middle of the ring. The object of the match is to go grab a wooden X. Why? Just to watch guys dangle from the middle of the ring and possibly break their neck? Why? What's the point? So the idea was one of, okay, let's at least come up with something that makes it different from everything else on the show. Because otherwise, it's just another match that's labeled X Division. So you make every match a title match, and you put 3 people in it, and when one person loses, he's now out of contention, and these other 2 people, they go on, and it's kind of a revolving competition. But at least it was something different. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea. Probably a bad idea. But it was something to make it different. It was something to, at least when you saw 3, and no other 3-ways with any other matches. And no other matches, you eliminated 3-ways with everybody else. So at least you differentiate between every other match. Otherwise, it's just 2 guys and it's labeled X Division. And they're doing the same shit that everybody else is doing.
Right.
So you got, okay, well, there's spectacular moves. They do this, and they're jumping beans. They do this. Well, then you go to your main event, and there's AJ Styles doing the same shit. So is he X Division? No, he's not X Division. We don't want to label him. Okay? What's the X Division? And I defy anybody to tell me what the hell it is. Because nobody can.
Yeah.
Nobody can. The people that came up with it can't even tell me what it is. And I used to, and the subject would come up about once every 3 or 4 months. And I would have the same argument.
What is the future of the wrestling business? What do you think is going to happen here? With TNA and the problems that have been, coming out as of late, what do you think is going to happen with Hulk Hogan? Do you think he's going to re-sign or go and end his career in WWE?
I hope, sounds horrible, I hope he ends his career in WWE because 100%. That's the right way. Yeah. It's the right way to end it, and it's the right way for him, and he deserves that. He deserves to go out on top with the top company in the right way, and I think Vince would welcome him back with open arms, and I think that for all of his legacy, where he was made and where he ends up, I think that's the right thing for him and the best thing for him. And it would be, hey, I said the same thing about Sting. I wish Sting would just go get his Hall of Fame up there and go have his WrestleMania run, go get the payday, go out on top, and be done. He's worked this hard, and he should do it. As far as the, what's going to happen with the business, who knows? I mean, I've been through so many, this is the end of the business. When Vince came out and did his shit, this is the end of the business. He's killing the business. Business is dead. To, WCW, I mean, on down the line, there have been so many instances where the business is dead. And the business will never die. And it'll continue to evolve, and I think that it'll still be here when my kid's 50 years old, looking at it and going, I remember when, It's just one of those things. It's the world's oldest sport for a reason. People can understand it.
Would you ever want to write a book?
I am writing a book.
All right. What are you going to call it, or is that a kayfabe?
Something to wrestle with. And it's just, all it is, man, it's just short stories about experiences that I've had in this business and life that find somewhat entertaining.
Still talk to Vince?
Yeah.
Do you feel that you'll go back there in some position in the near future?
You never say never. I don't expect it anytime soon, but you never say never.
What else do you know how to do in life? Like, as far as, what are you doing now to support yourself? Are you financially well off, or?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. No, I've been talking with a lot of people in Hollywood and just production and trying to do some other shows and do some other things as far as producing goes and working with talent and taking all the things that you've learned in this business and adapt it to something else, because it's not that different. I dare say that I can probably produce circles around a lot of the best in Hollywood.
Do you see you ever getting put into the WWE Hall of Fame?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Now if Vince were to call you and say, hey, we need you to relocate up to Stanford, would you do it?
It's out of spite, yes. Well, no, I mean, my wife is from Connecticut, so it wouldn't be that big of a stretch. But at the same time, the same situations that would prevent me from moving to Nashville would probably prevent me from moving to Stanford at this point in my life.
Okay. Jim Ross, you were very close to Jim throughout the years. What are your thoughts on his current situation and what happened? Do you think he was a scapegoat? We all know that he had a love-hate relationship with The Office, and Vince didn't really like him and loved him and hated him and whatnot. WrestleMania weekend, you know the story. What are your thoughts on the entire deal, how it went down? Do you think he was a scapegoat, or? Well,
I don't know. Again, not being there, it's hard to, you never really know. You can only speculate. If you ask me to speculate, I would speculate that Jim was probably the fall guy there. That they looked at somebody, okay, well, somebody's got to take a hit here. So who was the guy in charge? Who should have reined it in? Is that fair to Jim? I don't know. I thought that, I watched it. Hindsight's always 20/20. Would I have handled it differently? Maybe. Would I have gone with it and just said, well, damn, Flair's on a roll? But at the same time...
Did you see it?
I did see it, yes. Sure did.
What were your thoughts?
This is a train wreck.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
100%.
It was very entertaining. I was on the phone with Steve Austin the other day. We talked for an hour and a half and just laughing the whole time, telling the stories back and forth. And he starts laughing, going, damn, he goes, we should have just rolled tape on this. It would be the first half of the show. And it's just, to a more mature audience, to an inside audience, they'd probably love that. From all accounts,
it was the ultimate shoot interview.
Seems a lot of people really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But to an audience that you're trying to woo advertisers in your product and you're putting your product out there, I don't know that it was the best venue to talk about everything that they talked about. And again, in the old days, I think somebody would have gotten the hook and gotten Rick off the stage. But I don't know that necessarily in that situation, in that role, that Jim was the guy to do that. That should have been somebody else. That should have been a producer. That should have been an executive. That should have been somebody else quietly gone up there and said, hey, Rick, let me talk to you for a minute, and pulled him off. Said either rein it in or go ahead and stay back here with us.
Did Jim Ross ever change over time as a person?
Yeah, I think Jim mellowed. He got, from the beginning, where we were traveled up and down the roads in the Mid-South and did everything together, to him going to WCW and then coming up there, and he got really intense, and the Bell's palsy. I mean, man, that took a shitload out of him. And it just, how do you deal with looking at yourself in the mirror and there's something you can't control, but you get judged on it, and your livelihood is affected because of it, and it's the only thing, well, it's not the only thing he knows. That's bullshit, because he's very talented and did a lot of other things. But he was judged on that, and that's not fair. I mean, it was something he couldn't control. It was an affliction. It's something that unfortunately happened to him. God, the second time he got it, coming back on the plane from overseas, his mom had died, I believe, and it was just, broke your heart. But, Yeah, he changed a little bit. I think he got a little bitter on some of that because of the way he was treated.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.